So here's the thing is I understand that if you have a partner that's not on board, that can be very frustrating and really stifle you from getting to the progress that you want to have. And let's be serious about that. Let's be real. Why wouldn't he want kids that are listening to him? Why wouldn't he want to be on the same page as you and having your relationship get to be about things that are more joyful and like what you miss having together? Why wouldn't he want those things? I'm going to tell you why he doesn't want those things. The reason that he doesn't want those things, friends, has nothing to do with all that greatness. Of course, he wants that. Of course, he wants a happy wife, happy life. Of course, he wants to have kids that are listening just as much as you do. Of course, he wants your family to have less stress, less ease, to actually enjoy the money you guys put into the vacations you're planning for spring break coming up. Of course, he wants that, right? Can you give me a heck yes if you're thinking, duh, yeah, of course he wants that. Give me a heck yes, an emoji. And here's what's missing. Here's why he's telling you he doesn't want you to take action on the sustainable parenting transformation. What it's really about, and I'm going to be super real with you guys. I got to give you the super harsh truth. Are you listening? What he does not want is he doesn't want you to be continuing to take the family down the same road you've been going down. He's been there just as much as you with all the comments that you guys have been sharing with me this week. He is just as tired as you that the kids are not listening, that you are suffering in cycles where you feel like you're just repeat the same things over and over again, like Cherie said. Like you feel like your kids are not learning and growing in this process. They keep doing things that are hurting their siblings or each other. He doesn't want you to keep going down that old road of doing what you've always done because you're gonna keep getting what you've always got. And if you're sitting there telling him that you want him to invest more in some path that's still gonna be like overly indulgent or really not having a backbone or that you're not gonna follow through on, he's like, heck no, I don't want you to invest in that. Of course not. But that's not what you're asking him to invest in. You have learned in this workshop in these key days the errors that have kept you in those old cycles of struggle. You realize the ping-ponging, you realize the neck up strategies, and you realized asking the wrong questions don't get you where you want to go. So here's the beauty in that. You get to come to him and say, you know what, you were right. You were totally right that I have some growth to do. I've noticed that the path that I used to be on, that maybe I kept trying to convince you into and want to invest into, I was also on a path that wasn't working, and I see it now. And so I'm asking you, husband, to support the path I know now can give me all the joy and ease and calm and cooperation we've been missing. There's no husband on the planet that is not going to be super excited about that. So, friend, it is about you coming to that partner and sharing that you know you want to come more towards middle. You're not going to keep in those old patterns, and you'd like him to partner with you so that together you guys have that balance of kindness and firmness at the same time so that kids are listening, right? And let me tell you, if you still have a resistant partner, it reminds me of Tony and Rachel. Now, Tony and Rachel got on their clarity call with me, and she is a very attachment-focused mama. They have 4 kids. He is in the military, in the Air Force, and very much about authority. And they were butting heads on parenting. They had been doing so for like 6 years. And they were exhausted by it. But when we got on the clarity call at first, Tony was totally this husband saying to Rachel, you've spent so much money already on lots of different repeats patterns of this style that I see not working. I'm sorry to say it, but it's not getting our kids to be respectful, responsible, and fun to be around. And so we talked about the difference, and I explained to him what's different in sustainable parenting, that it's about this partnership of kind and firm at the same time. And he was like, okay, you've got my attention. This is different. I didn't think that that's what we were talking about here. And they stepped into the work with me, and they got really great results within just months. So I want to share their story with you. This is Tony and Rachel.
Lucy is our 1.5-year-old, and then we have she has 3 older brothers. They are 7, 6, and 4. My husband's military, and he's a pilot, so he works a lot of long hours away.
And it always seemed like the only focus of our family was trying to manage children's behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel and I never got time together. We didn't go on dates very often. We didn't get to do a whole lot of things together because we were always just moving from one child's emotional upset to the next child's emotional upset, or sometimes all 4.
Like I was tired of fighting about parenting and not having kind of a united way to deal with things, and so that's been a whole lot better. I realized I was doing way too much for our kids, and I was stretching myself too thin while also not teaching them skills that would benefit them as well, not setting those healthy boundaries, because I was scared to, honestly. I felt like if I did, then it was just going to be a tantrum forever. And I found that has not been the case at all. And I found that the tools she gives, like making a plan for things and following through, has been extremely helpful for really resolving almost any problem we've had.
The thing I like about the techniques and the strategies, for one, is that they are techniques and strategies. It's not trying to fit everybody's children into a rigid box that if you parent exactly this way, then your children will behave this way, and then we'll all be perfect parents with perfect children that look exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
But it teaches you tools and techniques and encourages you to apply them in your own ways in the situations that are specific to you and your family. Basically, in conclusion, I'd like to say that while things are definitely not, cookie cutter perfection, they are a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And we're more on the same page. The kids are more aware of what to expect, and they're also becoming a lot better at recognizing the causes of their upsets and working through those upsets on their own.
But with each thing we learned, I found my confidence growing that, hey, kind of whatever happened, we could figure this out.
And also you can hear from many more parents and families right here.
It's been life-changing for Shannon and I, and how we parent, and what I've seen out of his reactions to how I would normally enter a situation. Go, okay, now what would Flora say? And that approach, it is night and day difference. And so,
but we don't have an easy one, and this stuff really works.
And there were a lot of things I didn't think would work, and I'd be like, no way, but I'll try it. And then it did work, and I was like, oh.
I would say yes, it's been a night and day difference as Jeff and Shannon have adopted the different techniques they've heard from Flora. Just the changes we've seen in Ryder and their parenting has been terrific.
I don't have the arguments. I don't have the fights. I mean, both myself and my daughter are bullheaded, and stubborn. So when we battle, it's pretty good. But we've been able to avoid most of those.
I mean, before, Zach and Mary would go at it, and I would just freeze, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is not good, but I can't step in because he started it. Now it's pretty calm and mellow. We're on the same page. We can kind of see where each other are going. We know what each other are doing.
So if she's getting overwhelmed, I can jump in and help out and pick up where she left off. and vice versa. I would say do it. To anybody who's thinking about it, just do it. I mean, it's worth every penny to not have to fight with your kid, to be able to just talk to him and just get him to do what you want. It's worth it. It really is.
It's just helped out so much, and just staying calm and being perceptive to their emotions and how they're feeling, and they just respond so much better to me, and that's helped out a lot.
What helped you to say with your husband, like, I want to do this group, I want to invest in a way that will make sure that we really make these changes for ourselves?
What I would do was utilize my kindness and be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind. And then I'm getting stretched too thin. And then I would explode into monster mom so bad. And it was so confusing for my toddler, because he was like, Mom, you were being so nice. And then all of a sudden, you're monster mom.
Yeah.
And I could not keep parenting like that. It was not effective. It was straining our relationship. It was straining my husband and I's relationship. As a family as a whole. We have a newborn daughter. She was just born in August. And I realized too, that's not how I wanted my relationship to be with her when she was the age of my toddler. So I did your 5-day webinar. And your free one. And once I had completed that, I went to my husband and I said, it's time for us to make some changes. How do you feel about this? And it took him a couple days to come around. But once he started seeing me implementing what I learned from your webinar, he was like, okay, I can see how this is gonna work for us. And so he jumped on board, and ever since then he was just like, I can't believe that, he's like, this has just been worth every penny that we've paid. And for my husband to say that is huge.
For about 2 years, both my wife and I said, we tried to read books together and then discuss. It was just really challenging to get aligned and make the time to discuss and then kind of get on the same page with what our foundation was going to be. So thankful that we found Flora and her wonderful program. I mean, it made an immediate impact. I would say in the first 2 weeks, we were seeing changes in our family. I love the book learning, collaborative calls, and then the one-on-ones. This program is really walking us through developing our own parenting foundation for our family and significantly improving our parenting toolkit and the skills my wife and I use, with the kids, and then also just to regulate our own emotions and all that fun stuff. The content always seems to be on point with what we're going through. Like, is Flora reading our mind? I'm not sure, but it's definitely been right in line with what we're dealing with. Love Flora's kind, firm coaching. We've learned so much wisdom, and excited to put that wisdom in action every day. Thanks so much, Flora.